Bottom half of the fourth coming up from McKeon Park. The Falmouth Commodores put something up in the top half. An RBI single from Trent Carraway makes it 1-0 Commodores on this Wednesday night from McKeon Park in Hyannis. It's the 4-5-6 due up from the Hawks. Blake Cavell, the Western Kentucky Hilltopper first baseman, will lead things off as he digs into the left-handed batter's box. Sean Brennan returns to the mound for his fourth inning of work as the starting pitcher for the Commodores. First pitch from the Keystone College junior, a ball upstairs at the eye level of Cavell. Blake started the summer with Falmouth wearing number 34, moved over to Hyannis after just 5 games with the Commodores, brought the number down 1 to 33 with the Hawks. The 1-0 from Brennan, a called strike at the knees of Cavell. Count levels off at a ball and a strike. Blake Cavell made a bang with Hyannis his first game against the Brewster Whitecaps, a home run down the right field line. That has been his only hit with the Hawks this summer, the 1-1. Line foul off the back netting, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Since then is 0 for 11 in his last 11 at-bats, looking to break a streak as the Harbor Hawks still chase their first hit of the ball game. Hitless through the first 3. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brennan comes set at the belts and unleashes the 1-2. It's a called strike 3. Sean Brennan posting up the backwards K on Blake Cavell and make it strikeout number 4 for the Keystone College Giant.
What a great sequence of pitches for Sean Brennan and Braden. Flashback to opening night. Colby Guy got the start. He was immaculate through 3 innings, and in the first 2 batters of the fourth, he walked. Sean Brennan already turning the page on that script.
New batter is Eric Snow, the brand new Auburn Tiger, who will swing it from the right-hand side. Second trip for the Commodores to McKeon Park this season. Brennan's first pitch off the inside of the bat, popped foul behind the home plate netting. The third meeting between Hyannis and Falmouth. The Harbor Hawks took meeting number 1, 10-0 at McKeon Park, and then in game 14 earlier last week, it was the Commodores that got the best of the Harbor Hawks by the final score of 8-3. The 0-1 in the dirt hits off the helmet of Bowen off the skip, 1-1. So the winner of this game would presumably have a 2-1 series lead. But you never know, MJ, with that tie that always is looming in the shadows. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Sean Brennan comes set at the belts and whips home the 1-1. Eric Snow clobbers this one down the left field line. It is gone. Eric Snow, a solo home run, and the Harbor Hawks respond and level us off at 1 apiece. Just 324 feet down the line, and Eric Snow got every stitch of that baseball. And we are tied up at McKeon once again.
Really good looking swing by Eric Snow. And that's really the first mistake pitch, and of course just the first hit for Hyannis. And the first mistake pitch, like I said, for Brennan. Breaking ball way too up in the zone, runs right into the barrel. Snow is not going to miss that one.
Now a 1-1 ball game, bottom of the fourth, 1 out for Dalton Bargo, the catcher from Tennessee. First pitch, he lines one into right field, hits off the white shaka, fair ball. Bargo touches first, he rounds for second, and he will be upstanding. It's a double for Dalton Bargo and back-to-back hits for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the fourth. On offense, MJ, they went 3 innings without a hit and back-to-back extra base hits for Eric Snow and Dalton Bargo.
Second time around, these guys are starting to pick up Sean Brennan a little bit better. If you're Brennan here, deep breath on the hill. You've got to go 1 batter at a time.
Cannon Peebles, the switch-hitting catcher, will bat from the left-hand side on the right-hand hurling Sean Brennan. 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Peebles still looking for his first hit with the Harbor Hawks this summer. Brennan comes set, brings home the first pitch. A ball upstairs on the 5'11 Peebles. And Carson Bowen will call time and go out and chat to his pitcher. Peebles, originally from Ashland, Virginia, out of Tennessee, started his career with NC State, was a freshman All-American before transferring to now the national champion Tennessee. And now he's on his second Cape Cod Baseball League team as well, a journeyman, some could say. Meeting has been adjourned out on the bump. 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Knotted up at 1 apiece between the Commodores and the Harbor Hawks. Both teams entered the fourth inning hitless. Then the Commodores put up an RBI single in the top half, and the Harbor Hawks a home run and a double back-to-back from Snow and Bargo. That's where we stand in the bottom of the fourth. Brennan comes set just above the belts. Fires home the 1-0. Ball in the dirt scooped up by Carson Bowen as the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes. Brennan steps off right behind the mound before towing it along the first base side. Down to 5 on the pitch clock. Connects the ball to the glove and hurls home the 2-0. Spoiled foul from Peebles. Count advances to 2 balls and a strike. Peebles adjusts the orange and gray Tennessee batting gloves, Mizuno the brands, before digging right back into that left-handed batter's box. 2 balls and a strike. Brennan confirms the sign. Stares down Bargo, who dances off second and sends the pitch home. Lined into left field, Gavin Turley ranging back, puts the black glove up, makes the catch for out number 2. No tag from Bargo at second. So a loud out number 2 from Cannon Peebles as Josh Tate will look to savor this 2-out rally.
The left fielder from Georgia Southern, number 10, Josh.
Well, Sean Brennan just trusting his defense, trusting his stuff, able to set down Peebles for the second time, and you're looking to save that run on second like you said, Braden. Josh Tate hopes to have different plans, but if you're Brennan, you can get your guys back in by just allowing 1 run. That's going to feel pretty good.
It's now stepping up the All-Sun Belt second-teamer and Josh Tate from Georgia Southern. First pitch from Sean Brennan. Ball in the dirt scooped up from Carson Bowen behind the dish. A ball and no strike. It's on the right-hand swinging left fielder. 2 outs, bottom of the fourth. 1 run early home for the Harbor Hawks in the form of an Eric Snow solo home run. Harbor Hawks looking to do some more damage. The 1-0 pitch on its way, showing bunt, and popping it foul is Tate's. Count advancing to a ball and a strike. Tate in his 5th game this summer with the Harbor Hawks. A 5-for-14 line he enters in. It's a .357 average. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brennan comes set at the belts and lobs home the 1-1. Ball just missing the outer black, an 87-mile-per-hour fastball, and it's 2-1. Brennan steps off, maneuvers the ball on his right hand before towing the rubber again along the first base side. Game 21 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. It's the Commodores and the Harbor Hawks, the 2-1 deal. Upstairs and jackknifing his way out of it is Josh Tate as it runs up and in, and the count now runs to 3-1. Harbor Hawks 11-8-1. They're 7-2 at home this summer. The Commodores at 7-13, still in search of their first road win this summer. 0-9 away from Gov Fuller Field. 3 balls and a strike. Brennan's delivery home. Ball 4 upstairs. Bowen tries the back pick on over to second, and sliding in safely head first is Dalton Bargo. A great tag applied by Jack Bell. Tagged just a little late, and there's runners on first and second now.
There's a lot of things that Carson Bowen does well, but one of the best things he does is read a back pick. He can see when the runner dances too far off the bag, and he gets out of his crouch super fast. That one was on the money, just a hair late.
2 outs, and pitching coach Mike Landry will call time and trot out to the bump. Riley Stanford getting warm down the right field line, and Mike Landry will signal to the right field bullpen and bring on Riley Stanford. Call to the bullpen for the Commodores. We will step aside here in the bottom half of the fourth. 1-1 between the Commodores and the Harbor Hawks.
Welcome back to the Gov on a picturesque night on Cape Cod. Wednesday night baseball between the Commodores and the Mariners. Falmouth leads Harwich 7-1 as we head into the top of the 7th. That guy right there, Peter Phillips, working into his 3rd inning of relief work. Has looked pretty good out there, not allowing a single run to score from this Mariner crew. And the first batter he'll be greeted with is the All-Star Cade Kurland in the 7th spot out of Florida. And the Gator will look to spark an offensive rally, MJ.
Well, don't let the 0-for-1 line fool you. I mean, that first at-bat in the second, a 13-pitch walk against Parker Coyle, one of the most productive at-bat, and that one's going to be just the same.
A bullet in the left field drops before Zion Rose, and Cade Kurland has his first hit of the ball game. He was 0-for-4 in the previous 2 meetings between Falmouth and Harwich, and he's able to get off the schneid with his first hit against the Commodores in quite some time.
Well, Cade Curlin's a veteran ball player out of the University of Florida, and he has dealt with peaks and valleys, and right now he's in a bit of a valley, but is really working hard to get out of it, and that's a good way to do it right there. I mentioned that walk back in the second. It's a productive at-bat. That'll really boost your confidence.
Wilson Weber will bat, and he lines this one in a left center field. Bolin comes over, makes the catch for out number 1, and the Oregon State catcher is retired. One away for Danny Dickinson, the former Utah Valley Wolverine, announcing his commitment to LSU. Second team All-WAC this past season, and the freshman of the year in 2023 will step up to the plate as his ball club trails by 6. First pitch from Phillips, a ball. Dickinson, a guy who's looked very good throughout parts of this summer, but as has most of this Mariner team over the last 16 games or so, slowly cooled off. Harwich 1-15 over their last 16 games, batting .206 as a ball club, a 7.43 ERA, and the dagger, MJ, the -55 run differential from this ball club from Harwich.
And you can see it so far tonight. Already given up 7 runs to the Commodores.
Sky-high fly ball. Catcher Scott Mudler will watch it behind the press box, 2-1. And we talk about how, in Major League Baseball, you can have a stretch like that, a bad 15, 16 games, but in the Cape Cod Baseball League, you only play 40 games. 16 games is almost half your season.
Got to be on your stuff from the get-go, and right now we kind of talk about it for the Commodores, playing some of the best baseball they have played all summer long. Maybe the best baseball we've seen across the league in this kind of weak stretch, but you started off so poor that you really have any hope and pray that Bourne loses some games to get back into it.
The 2-1 fly ball to left field. Zion Rose makes the catch, and there's 2 outs. 2 away, in the 9-hole hitter, Sam McNulty, will be the new batter. The Boston College Eagle looking to savor any 2-out magic this Mariner team might have.
Well, you look at it here for Peter Phillips. It's been an efficient inning so far with a couple of flyouts, but a lot of hard contact. Cade Curlin had that really good hard hit ball, a single into left field. The last couple of flyouts have been deep, so you're hoping to avoid that hard contact, especially if the lineup turns over.
First pitch, foul ball off the twig of McNulty. A guy who has progressively improved during his time up in Chestnut Hill. Started as a 196 hitter his freshman year, moved up to a 286 hitter his sophomore year, then really moved into a starting role his junior year in 2024. 53 starts for the Eagles, 178 at-bats. And he sends it on the right side, trailing into foul territory, and it's a souvenir for a fan. And a guy who has really been looking to get hot in the Cape League in his 17th game now with the Mariners. A .226 average he entered into play. Curdlin on first, 2 gone in the frame. And a big cut and a miss. Peter Phillips gets out of the inning untouched. Make it 3 clean innings for the Fairfield Stag on the bump. It's stretch time from the Gov, and we will keep things here as we turn it over to the public address announcer, Emma Ryan, and the singing of God Bless America. Brewster took a lead in the top half of the first inning. It's now the Commodores' offense's job to try to get it back. And Aiden, what's the lineup that the Commodores roll with?
Well, it's a little bit of a new lineup, as we mentioned. Isaiah Barquette, who normally bats top third at school, is in there as well tonight. Jason Jones, Trent Caraway, Carson Bowen, LaSalle Bell. Not a ton of differences from last night. The big one that Barquette and Bolin essentially switching spots, with Bolin moving down to 8 and Barquette up in the top third. And once again, it's anchored by Pat Roach, who got on base a couple of times in his 2024 Commodore debut last night.
Arm, they will be facing Evan O'Toole. Makes his return to Gov Fuller Field, a Commodore last summer. Pitched in 6 games for Jeff Trundy's ball club, and makes his return July 31st, the last time he started a game for Falmouth. And now he'll be making his second start on the summer, and pitching with a lead already, Aiden.
And here's Zion Rose, leadoff hitter. Certainly deserves all the credit in the world, Braden. He very easily could have not come back to Falmouth after he went to USA. We're going to talk about, wrapping up these guys' seasons over the next few nights. And Zion's a guy that was here he left to go to Team USA, and he loved this place so much he came back, and that just doesn't happen enough in this league, and it's been a big help.
Rose lines this one to left field. Macias going back. It's over his head. Clanks off the wall. Zion looking for two, and he will slide into second safely. It's a leadoff double for the Louisville left fielder.
Well, Braden, it's hot and sticky tonight, and it seems like that weather is just perfect for these bats because so far we've seen 2-3 balls that have had at least fence power, one of which cleared the fence. It's great to see early on these batters taking big swings, and Zion certainly joining the party there.
Hit number 18 for Zion Rose on the summer, and the Commodores have a runner in scoring position with no outs, and Isaiah Barquette, as Aiden mentioned, moving up in the lineup drastically from the 9 spot to the 2 hole. And the Stetson Hatter takes ball 1 from O'Toole. Isaiah, a guy who's been on fire as of late, rides in a 7-game hit streak. And over that stretch, Aiden, 11 hits and 29 at-bats, plus the 4 RBIs, the doubles, everything else. A guy that really started the season in a slump, a 111 average in June, but he has turned it in to an unbelievable July, and now here we are in August for the Stetson Hatter. Just shows you how quickly things can change in baseball.
And we said how he really earned coming back into the top third of this lineup. Certainly continues to be true. It's just where he naturally hits in school. And looking forward to hopefully seeing it the next couple of games, not just tonight.
O'Toole's 2-1. Ball number 3. The Commodore hitter ahead in the count. A right-handed heavy lineup for Falmouth. Only 2 lefties by Jack Bell and Robbie Bolin in the 7 and 8 spots, faring off against the right-handed arm of Evan O'Toole. Barquette lines this one right back up the middle. Zion Rose getting the stop sign from Brett Becker at third base, and there'll be runners on the corners for Falmouth. .95 miles per hour off the bat of Isaiah Barquette, and the Commodores in business here, still no outs.
Just more hitting, right? More hitting that we've seen all summer from him, especially in the later part of it.
And Barquette now extends that hitting streak to 8 consecutive games as he turns the baton on over to Jason Jones, the brand new Oklahoma State Cowboy, and the all-star starter from a weekend ago. Jones takes strike 1 down Broadway. And ever since that All-Star game, Aiden, Jason's been in a little bit of a slump. 1 for 14 over the last 4 games. And that's coming off of what was a hot stretch for him. He had hits in 6 out of 8 games, kind of cooled down post-All-Star game. Post-All-Star break, one could say.
And really his last chance here to make a push and finish this season on a strong note.
And game number 38 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. The Commodores 14-21-1, mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, but they will play a doubleheader against the Katuitt Kettleers tomorrow. Game 1 at noon is a resumption of Game 33, which was suspended just 2 days prior to the All-Star break, and then they'll start a brand new 9-inning game at 6 p.m. here at Gov Fuller Field. Barquette takes off for second. Throw down from Coffer, not in time, and Isaiah Barquette swipes second successfully. And there's now 2 ducks on the pond for Jones. Stolen base number 5 on the summer for Isaiah Barquette. You gotta love those splits, Aiden. 5 stolen bases, 0 caught stealings for the Commodore second baseman.
He's got some kind of speed out there, doesn't he?
It's very strategic with when he steals.
True.
It's one thing if you got speed, but if you get thrown out trying to steal the base, well, then you got the speed, but you don't have the brains behind it. 2 balls and a strike to Jason Jones. Big cut and a miss. Count levels off at 2-2. But as I was saying, the Commodores will play a doubleheader against Katuitt tomorrow. And then they'll go to Spillane Field on Sunday to take on the Wareham Gatemen. 2-2, Jones sends this one into center field. Dumanel chasing it back. He makes the grab, both runners tagging. Rose will score, Barquette into third safely. It's a sac fly from Jason Jones, and we're knotted up at 1 apiece.
Earns himself an RBI, right? Even when he's cold, he's still helping the offense. That's everything you want out of a player like Jason Jones that's been in the top third of this lineup all summer long. And the Doors have a chance to take an early lead here.
That's the first out of the inning, as the Brewster infield will make their way into the infield grass as Trent Garraway, the new batter from Oregon State. Runner on third is Isaiah Barquette. Garraway takes a cut on the first pitch. Comes up empty. It's 0-1. Garraway, grounder on the left side, knocked down by the shortstop Perot. He fumbles, it goes to first instead, but gets the second out. It's 2-1 Commodores. Heads up play by the shortstop Drew Perot.
Yeah, I don't think he fumbled it. Get a look at the Brewster defense there. I don't think he fumbled. I think he hesitated, thinking maybe I have a play at the plate. He's a very good shortstop, and heads up play going to first, getting the out, give up the early lead though. And the Doors have struck for a pair here in the first inning, which is better than what we've seen the last 2 nights, right, where they've gotten shelled a little bit early in these games and just not been able to hit back. Tonight they got hit in the first, but they hit back in the bottom of the first, which is what we've seen from this team when they're at their best.
Carson Bowen, the new bat out of TCU, the backstop. You mentioned last night, Aiden, it was a tough start for Parker Coyle. Went just 1 inning, allowed 7 hits, 7 earned runs, allowed a walk, but most of the damage by Bourne was done in those first 2 innings, and to your point, once you fall into that hole, it's tough to try to claw out of it later in the game.
And it's been what's really eliminated the Commodores from the playoffs here. It's 2 just bad nights.
O'Toole's 2-1. It's a ball low, and Bowen's ahead 3-1. Carson, the only active Commodore hitting above 300 this summer. Going to raise his average even more. Sends it right back to center field. It will drop before Dumanel, and it's a 2-out single for Carson Bowen.
Great summer for him, a guy that is hoping to get called in the MLB draft relatively soon, and he's certainly earned a lot of recognition, rightfully so, this summer with his play.
Bowen, a guy who has been with the Commodores since day one, sticking it out, now playing into 25 games for the Commodores. He's aboard safely on first. Donovan LaSalle, the new batter, the right fielder out of Oklahoma State. Takes a big cut and whiffs on it, 0-1. Donovan saw major improvements from his June to July. Hit just 146 in the month of June, but then switched it over to a 242 average in July. It really just shows you, Aiden, kind of the mentality change when you switch the months over.
It certainly does. Some of those guys have had bad Junes, but again, you look at that average, it doesn't jump out to you, but then you look at how he's progressed over the summer, and you look at his splits, and you're right, that's where it does speak to you. When you're an MLB scout thinking, all right, he stuck around. He went through his rough patch and came back from it.
Snagged by Shelton at third, fires to second, and the fielder's choice will give Brewster the sigh of relief. Not before the Commodores tack 2 on of their own. It's 2-1 Falmouth after the first.
The new pitcher on the hill is Francis Ferguson, and for more on our guy Fergie, we send it down to Braden Schenck.
Thank you, MJ. In the realm of baseball, there's become a growing popularity when it comes to two-way players. You look at MLB superstars like Shohei Ohtani, who's really taken the world by storm by playing both sides of the ball. And for Eastern Nazarenes and Falmouth Commodore pitcher Francis Ferguson, he's been able to do it at a very high level. Francis is one of the NCAA's premier two-way players. He said it can be a lot on the body playing every day and in different places every day, but it's amazing being able to contribute to winning ball games on both sides. Being able to pitch, play the offense and defense all at once, it's special. special, he said. And he's done it, as I said, at a very high level for the Lions. He was named to the All-North Atlantic Conference first team this past spring, not as a pitcher, not as an outfielder, but as both a pitcher and an outfielder. Guys, it's not easy to make an all-conference first team as either one of those, but imagine having to do it as both. And again, he led the conference with 95 strikeouts and 67 innings on the bump, but he also contributed 56 hits, 33 RBIs, and 8 stolen bases, as well as a 400 batting average, which was second in the conference. I mean, is there anything this guy can't do? Now, while on the Commodores he might only be a pitcher, he still takes cuts during batting practice, and even had a chance yesterday when the team traveled to Fenway Park to take around a BP at historic Fenway Park. Definitely special to watch this guy play. Guys. Yeah, thank you, Aiden. There's a small community that exists in the world of baseball, particularly in Australia. For Stanford infielder and Falmouth Commodore Jimmy Nadi, he shares a special relation and friendship with Travis Bazana, former Commodore, and most recently the #1 overall pick in the 2024 MLB draft. Travis remarked how when they were both kids, they played against each other a lot, and naturally they knew of each other because they were the good kids in the league. But as more and more time went on, they started to play together on the same teams, and they realized they had a lot in common. When they were 14 and 15-year-old, they realized they shared the same dream. They both wanted to come to America and play Division I baseball. For Jimmy, that was Stanford University, and for Travis, that was Oregon State. And somehow it all came into fruition. They both came to America, killed it in the Pac-12, and their friendship just grew stronger because of that. Travis mentioned how Jimmy's been an unbelievable friend to him, and having someone like that kind of pushing him in the competition made him a better ball player, and they remain friends to this day, so definitely special to see an Aussie going first overall.
Starter on the hill, Hayden Frank, a great bounce-back inning in the second. And for more on his journey, we send it down to Braden Schenck.
Thank you, MJ. That's right. Hayden Frank has had many great starts here on this Gov Fuller Field mound. A year ago, he pitched for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and made 3 starts against Falmouth. He tore it up on the mound, striking out 11 Commodores and picking up 2 Harbor Hawk wins in the process. That effort did not go unnoticed, as when he returned to Nashville in the fall, he noted that the Lipscomb Director of Operations, Brian Ryman, who had a lasting connection with Coach Trundy, found out that Falmouth had expressed interest in bringing him over to the squad in 2024. Hayden said that after that conversation, the rest was history, and he decided to make the team swap for 2024. And guys, normally in the realm of sports, when a player has to leave one team for another, there usually comes a move and a change in where a player lives. But Hayden noted that one of the best parts of the change was that he could still live with the same host family in Marston Mills that hosted him last summer with Hyannis. So as 2024 rolls around and Hayden is back on the Gov Fuller Field mound, a place that he called his second home, this time, guys, he's repping the maroon and white of Falmouth.